In this video, we're going to deal with an introduction to the art of communication. The art of communication can be used to introduce yourself, also transmit the message over, the model of sender encoded message or sender encoder message being the medium, decoder, and receiver to identify the process of communication. What we're looking at here is a model that salespeople can use to cut through a lot of the miscommunication or bad communication habits that people pick up. So rather than picking up bad communication habits, you want to pick up good communication habits as a salesperson. So we need to really create an environment of ease and establish common ground. That's absolutely essential. Of course, we have the non-verbal element, but what we're talking about here is primarily the verbal element when you're building a rapport and engaging with your customer to create a win-win situation and develop stronger relationships. It's primarily built around opening questions, looking for that feedback, information to go forwards and backwards asymmetrically, and close questions to control the process as and when you want to reposition yourself so clients feel understood, but at the same time, you get the benefits of the communication and enabling the sell. So what we're talking about here is the communication model, sender, encoder, message, decoder, receiver, the primary communication model that we use. So sender, what type of information am I sending out? I'm encoding that information, and the way that I'm encoding it, is it that the medium, i.e. the platform I'm transmitting from, that it's going to be decoded on the other side. So one needs to think clearly in terms of when you're encoding a message, making it user-friendly for clients, especially in the sales process or prospects, to be able to identify what you're saying. There's no sense in speaking in jargon or using complex words. Keep it as user-friendly so a 5-year-old can understand it. That's essential. Then the person on the other side is able to decode and receive that information. But it's essential that you identify that the person on the other side has encoded the message, or decoded the message in the right way. Because if they haven't decoded the message in the right way, what now puts you in is a position where you are being misunderstood. So you need to clarify by asking pertinent questions, asking questions of what you've said in terms of the person on the other end decoding it. So if you told them it's going to be, the person's told you they want something that's blue, and you have it in blue, be specific about the type of blue. So clarify what type of blue would you like that in. And they'll tell you what it is and repeat that back to them. If you want alloy wheels, subject to being a car, you want alloy wheels or walnut steering wheel, be sure to clarify those points and be specific in those points when you're communicating. So you're asking and clarifying what we call ABC, always be closing, but you're using the communication model to do that. So you're putting across that, yes, we have it in blue. We've got a light blue, a dark blue, and a medium blue. Unfortunately, we don't have royal blue or navy blue. So should you want those colors, that's not something that's available to us right now. But supposing you could get it in a dark blue, a light blue, or navy blue, would that appeal to you? And the person may say to you, well, they want it in navy blue. So if you're unable to satisfy that need, you've got a situation on your hands. It's no sense selling them a light blue. The car arrives on the day and they wanted a deep navy blue, and they now you have an upset customer, poor communication. So one would rather have the deal go on the day at the time of the communication, and up the road where you're going to get a clawback on your commission. So let's start looking at the art of communication and being effective in our mindset. And when we're going forwards with prospects or clients, let's be sure that when we're communicating in the right way, effectively, that the message, the way we're encoding our messages, we're thinking about the words we're using simple, effective words that can easily be understood, but also the clarification of the words as well. Let's be sure that we're clarifying what we're saying, going over what we've said, repeating what we've said, so that the person decoding on the other end understood that is understood, but more importantly, that we understand that they've understood what we've said. Because if they don't understand what we've said, we've got a situation. And this is what salespeople tend to do a lot of the time, is they talk a lot, but they don't really listen to what the client's really saying. So once you've actually given your spiel and you're in a position where you're able to gather back information, be sure that the core components of your spiel or pitch are clearly understood. Because if they're not understood, you have a situation. And situations can lead to headaches, and headaches generally lead to bad business. So let's really understand what we're looking at. Okay, transparency. Transparency is the key. Right, transmit that medium. Clarity. Right, let's be sure that clarity is clear. It's fundamental to what it is that you're selling at the other end, because that's absolutely essential. And underpin what you've said by repetition. Repetition seldom fails. So don't be scared to repeat yourself 3 or 4 times if necessary, because that way you're anchoring it in the client's mind what it is that you can do or you can't do. And don't be scared to express your limitations. It's good to express limitations, because if you should you communicate your limitations at that point in time, the potential is the client may have wanted it in a particular kind of navy blue, but they'd be happy to have a medium blue or a darker blue, something close to what they wanted. Or their perception of that navy blue may not be the navy blue they thought. Your dark blue might be associated to their navy blue. So let's understand when we're communicating what that positive, clear, asymmetric communication is fluent in the approach that we're putting forward. Let's be sure of that. Okay, because the art of communication is, yes, it's effective listening, but it's also speaking simply that a 5-year-old can understand, and underpinning what you've said with clarity and transparency.